Everyone, good morning. Juniors, are you ready? Smile first. Let's see you all smile. Yeah, very good. Excuse me. I heard from Ashish that all of you are waiting, so let us start. Yesterday, yesterday I spoke to you about how the transportation model helps you to make decisions outside the business. That is from warehouses, different warehouses, where the supply is possibly limited to a certain extent. You bring the goods to different retail outlets whose requirements are also constrained. So there's a supply constraint and there's a requirement constraint and there's a cost issue of transportation. So we have all these issues. Now that was outside. Yesterday I started talking to you about assignment. I will not talk about transportation anymore. Assignment is decision within the company. So we have machines or we have jobs whom we have to allot to different workers or operators. Now, here in these problems, you have jobs or you have machines on which the operators are supposed to work. Okay, so you have machines or jobs, and you have operators or workmen, where you have to give the different, you have to allot. All right. Now, there are times given. All right. For example, each operator, how much time he will take on each machine is given. So you have to allocate and get the least time. All right. Yesterday, I think we did three problems. Excuse me. We'll do one more before I proceed to the next difficulty or issue in this topic in the assignment models. Now, write down your this thing will be like this. Solve the following assignment problem. Please write. Solve the following assignment problem. You have five. You have five columns. Yes. You have five columns. The first column is machine. Write the heading of the first column as machine. And under machine, you have A, B, C, D, meaning you have four machines. Please understand the problem as you do, because then you will be able to relate it to real life situations. You may be able to use it for real life situations. One thing, and secondly, and you be able to use the operations research decision model. Someone, I can't remember who, one old student told me that, ma'am, I saw your video and I realized that I'm using the transportation model in my working atmosphere. So I relate everything so that you can tell. Suppose someone asks you what is the implication of the assignment model, you should be able to tell and not just say, I know the assignment problem and I don't know what it is for. All right. When I come to class, you can ask me real issues. Now, see, I'm talking to you about factories and facilities. All right. It could be useful for services also. All right. Imagine, just imagine. These are dishes. Okay. Instead of machines, you have dishes. Dishes means it could be, say, biryani, or say mutton biryani, chicken biryani, vegetarian biryani. And you have these cooks, how long they each one takes to make. So you want the biryanis made at the minimum time. So you'll have to allocate which cook to give. See, cook A takes 10 minutes to do mutton biryani. Sorry, it can't be done. 1 hour 60 minutes to do mutton biryani. The same thing another fellow says 50 minutes, and another fellow said 70 minutes, and quality of each one is equally good. So whom will you give it to? All right. Then you have to do the assignment. Then even vegetable biryani has to be done. Chicken biryani has to be done. And each one, no, you have different time components. So how will you do it? So it could be, see, that was also an example of manufacturing of biryani. So related, it could be how long someone does to do some tests for somebody, or a service, some service, how long each one takes. So there are various things. Some of you are allocating, for example, see, Ashish, for example, you are talking about transportation. We have problems here where you can, where exactly from Bangalore to Hassan, Hassan to Bangalore, how the buses take and all that. So it goes on. Yeah, good morning, Shilpi. Love you, Re. Machine. Um, Now we'll do the machine. Okay. Kishan, good morning. Machine is, write down under the first column is machine, top to bottom, right? A, B, C, D. Yesterday I did it in a small way, so it was easy for me to project. So I'll do small, like how I would do in your book. Okay, operators are, you write operator 1, operator 2, operator 3, and operator 4. Alright, please rule. Yeah, are you ready? You're ready, I hope. Under operator 1, you have to write in the column 60. Write on one side, so you can cut and do the needful. Under that, 40, followed by 55, followed by 45. Then operator 2 is 50, 45, 70, and 45. Operator 3 is 40, 55, 60, and 40. And 40. Okay. Operator 4 is 45, 35, 50, and 45. I'll show you, no problem. Easier for me to do it in a small piece of paper so that I could show you better. Okay, here we are. Wait. Okay. I think you can see now. Yeah. Machine A, B, C, D. Operator 1 is 60, 40, 55, 45. Operator 2 is 50, 45, 70, 45. Operator 3 is 40, 55, 60, and 40. Alright. And the last one is operator is 45, 35, 50, and 45. Shall we begin? Now what you have to do is go row wise. Okay? Row wise. Which is the smallest one in the row? 60, 50, 40, 45. Obviously 40. So we go row A. 60 minus 40, you get 20. 50 minus 40, you get 10. 40 minus 40 is 0. Don't square it yet. 45 minus 40 is 5. Alright? Alright, which is the next smallest one in the next line? 40, 45, 55 and 35, naturally 35. So 40 minus 35 is 5. 45 minus 35 is 10. 55 minus 35 is 20. And 35 minus 35 is 0. We seem to have got allotment for A, B and operator 3 and 4. Still, we will wait. Then in C, okay, ready. In C, it is 55, 70, 60 and 50. 50 being the least, we'll go into that. 55 minus 50 is 5. 70 minus 50 is 20. 60 minus 50 is 10. And 50 minus 50 is 0. Here it is. Right? Now you have the last line 45, 45, 40 and 45. Naturally 40 is the least. So 45 minus 40 is 5. 45 minus 40 is 5. 40 minus 40 is 0. 45 minus 5 is 5. Alright. Now what we do is identify. Now the next step is identify the smallest number in each column. The first column has 20, 5, 5 and 5. So 5 being the least. First column, operator 1, 20 minus 5 is 15. So the rest you get zeros. Sorry. Alright. Next column, there is 10, 10, 20 and 5. Naturally, we'll take 5. So 10 minus 5 is 5. 10 minus 5 is 5. 20 minus 5 is 15. 5 minus 5 is 0. Wait. So in operator 2, you have 5, 5, 15 and 0. Now we go to operator 3 column. You have 10 least. So naturally, least is 0. So you cannot touch it. And yes, Anjali, good morning. Yashaswini, good morning. All of you, good morning. The last one we cannot touch it because there are already zeros. Now let's see if we can allocate them. Can you? A can go to 3, B can go to 1, C can go to 4 and D can go to 2, isn't it? So let's corner it. A will go to 3, corner it. B, shall we give it 4? Wait, what did I say? I forgot. Allocate class. B can go to 1, I think. C can go to 4 and D can go to 2. Wait, I'll just see. Once you have zeros now in each row or column, there's no point in doing deduction from the row or column. You understand? Because 0 is the least, and if you have any number minus 0, it would still be the same. So if you have 0 in a particular column or a row, you cannot do anything more about it. And still if you didn't get assignment, then I'll teach you the next step. Okay, so there we are. This is what we have done. Would you like to allocate and get the numbers? So write table showing time allocation. Write down table showing time allocation. Table showing time allocation. Ready? Write the first column as worker. No, sorry, operator that was, isn't it? Write it as operator. Under that, write all the operators. A, B, C, and D. Rule and keep. Now, next is job. Next column heading is job. Alright. And the last column heading is time in minutes. Time in minutes. Alright. Last, you write total and keep it ready. So this is how it will look like. It's simpler for me to do in small pieces of paper. It's easy to show you because I can bring it real close to the camera. At the same time, it helps avoiding wastage of paper, resources. Every bit of paper, we are cutting a little bit of a tree, remember. Alright. Now, what did we do? Please see. A got, sorry, I think they have made ulta, isn't it? I should not have. This book has done. Wait, don't say operator. I think it is machine, guys. I'm sorry. Heading of the first one is machine. So, machine A was given to operator 3. So, I'm sorry. The first one is machine. The second one is operator. Sorry, I followed the book. I shouldn't have. Machine and operator. Alright. So, machine A was given to operator 3. Machine B went to operator 1. Machine C went to operator 4. And D got 2. Isn't it? See here? You have machine operator 3 gets machine A or vice versa. Machine A, operator 3 will handle. B, operator 1 will handle. C, 4. And D gets 2. 3, 1, 4, 2. So, this is how I have done. Sorry about that machine and operator thingy. Sorry. Okay. Now here we got, look, 3 originally had how many minutes? A gets 3. The original minutes there were 40. So I write here, in time in minutes, I write 40. Similarly, if you look at the second one, again it was 40. and C got operator 4, that is 50, and finally D got 2, that is 45. So let's add 40 and 40 makes 80, 80 and 50 is 130, 130 plus 45 makes a total of 175 minutes. Alright, here we have, yeah, so you have worker, you have you have machine, you have operator, you have time in minutes, yeah, and that ends the problem. Alright, we'll go on to, I'll give you a minute to read the problem and assimilate it. We'll go on to another problem. You all heard Marcus. Yeah, I cannot tell him not to bark, isn't it? All done? Shall we solve another problem? Just slow down a bit. Yeah, we've done the problem. No? We're at 175 minutes. Yes. Now, there is a situation sometimes where we need to do something more when this is not sufficient. Alright? Now, we will do a new problem where we have 5 operators and 5 machines. Alright? So, you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. Make the first column rather thin because that's not going to be worked on. So, write heading, machine, and under that you have A to E, B, C, D, E. This is a rather thin column. Then you have operator 1, right, OP1, or you can make a common heading as operators and you can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Operator 2, operator 3, operator 4, and operator 5. Alright, please rule and get ready. Ready? Hi Shakil. Okay, all ready? Under operator 1, you write the following numbers. Please remember, write it in one side, left side or something like that, so that you can cut it. As you cut it, you can use only one matrix. Otherwise, you'll have to start ruling the matrix again. Alright? Write down 10, 3, 10, 5, 7. Ready? I'll repeat. Under operator 1, you write 10, 3, 10, 5, 7. Alright? Operator 2, 5, 9, 7, 11, 9. Okay? I repeat. Under operator 2, 5, 9, 7, 11, and 9. Okay? Operator 3, you have 13, 18, 2, 9, 10. I repeat, operator 3 you have 13, 18, 2, 9, 10. Operator 4, you have 15, 3, 2, 7, 4. Okay. Now operator 5, you have 16, 6, 2, 12, 12. Ready? Here we are. Yeah, you can see the entire problem. Now, we will begin the problem. I hope you all have finished. Should I wait a minute? If any of you have not copied, please copy. 10, 3, 10, 5, 7, 5, 9, 7, 11, 9, 13, 18, 2, 9, 10, 15, 13, wait, 13, 18, 2, 9, 10. Last, fourth one is 15, 3, sorry, I could not see, 3, 2, 7, 4. And last one is 16, 6, 2, 12, 12. So let's start the problem. We have to do row reduction. In the first row, the least one is 5. Second row, the least one is 3. Third row, the least one is 2, right? And the fourth row, the least one is 5. And the fifth row, the least one is 4. So let's do the reductions. The first row, it's 5. So 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. 13 minus 5 is 8. 15 minus 5 is 10. 16 minus 5 is 11. Followed by, you have 3. So 3 minus 3 is 0. 9 minus 3 is 6. 18 minus 3 is 15. 3 minus 0 is 0. 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. 6 minus 3 is 3. Next you have 2. So 10 minus 2 is 8. 7 minus 2 is 5. And the last 3 columns become 2 minus 2 become 0, 0, 0. Then D row 5. 5 minus 0. 5 minus 5 is 0. 11 minus 5 is 6. 9 minus 5 is 4. 7 minus 5 is 2. 12 minus 5 is 7. Next you have 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. 9 minus 4 is 5. 10 minus 4 is 6. 4 minus 4 is 0. 12 minus 4 is 8. So this is how your problem should look like now. Please take a look. Now, you see, in the first column, see, we have to do two things. First, you have to see whether there's a 0 everywhere. In the first row, is there a 0? Essentially, yes. Second row, yes. Third row, yes. Fourth row, yes. Fifth row, yes. So we have successfully done row reduction. Let us see whether we can do column reduction. Is there a 0 in column 1? Definitely yes. So we cannot do column reduction because the minimum is 0 and there's no sense in minusing 0. It will remain the same. Alright? Let's look at the second column. Is there a 0? Essentially yes. So makes no sense to deduct column. Third row, yes, there's a 0. You cannot deduct. Fourth row also there's a 0. Fifth row there's a 0. Now can we do the allocation? You try. We cannot do the allocation at all. See, let's try. The first one we will give to A, will give to operator. There's only 1 0 in that row. So operator 2, corner down. Alright? Operator 2. Square it. Alright. Next one. How many are there? You have two zeros. So you don't, if you look at the next one also, can you do the allocation? You cannot allocate everything, isn't it? Can you do? Try. The next one you can allocate to B or, B you can allocate to 1 or 4. C you can allocate to 3. Will we have a problem? Wait, we'll give B to 4 and then C to 3, D to 1, but we can't give there, no? C cannot be given, isn't it? How about C to 3? Try C to 3, D to 1. I think we have done it, no? Yeah, B2 also 1. Yeah, it's difficult to allocate. So what we do is, see, B, wait, we'll put a cross there. Where the zeros are there and you cannot allocate, put a cross. Now allocate D to 0, D to 1. See, you put a cross where there are more than one possible allocations. I'll show you once again. In any row, if there is only one zero, you allocate it. Alright? In any row, if there is more than one zero, put a cross. I'll show you how I've done it. See, I repeat, in row A, there is only one zero. In operator 2, so allocate it, make a square. In row A, there was only one zero, so make it a square. Which one? Operator 2 gets machine A. Alright? Now, look at the second row. You have two zeros, so we don't know where to allocate, so just put a very big cross. You have got a cross on for B row on 1 and 4. You have a cross. Alright? Now, in C row, you allocate the first zero and put a cross for the other zeros. So it was a C1, you might as well allocate. Wait, sorry guys. Actually, we shouldn't, but the book has done it so. Okay. And put a cross for the other two. Actually, when we do in class, we'll do all the three will put crosses. D, I've allocated to 1 and E, I've allocated to 4. Now, what do we do? One is left, isn't it? So, what do we do? Now, you must see the zeros. Alright? See the first row. There is only one zero. What's your problem? Look down and watch your problem. In the second B, you have two zeros, isn't it? In C, you have three zeros, and D, you have 1 0. In E, you have 1 0. Now, I think if I do not write the whole problem again, you will get confused. That's why I'm going to write the whole problem again. Alright, in the current form. Alright, so write with me. Write machine Write what I'm telling you. Machine, write A, B, C, D, E. Please write what I'm telling you to write. Alright, write operator 1, operator 2, operator 3. I think there's one concept I need to explain. I need to explain to you why, when there is more than one zero in a row, I put the allotted the first one and put like this, whereas in the other row, when there were two zeros, I put cross for both. I'll explain. Did you finish operator 1 to 5? Now write row wise. Will write right there 5 0. Now see, we allocated this, no? So put a square in on that. Put a square on a 0. Okay? There's nothing else, no other 0 in that row. You put a square. This thing. Then next, I think we have 8, 10, and 11. Okay? Now I'll continue. We'll do the next row. The next row was, we put a 0 and wait, let it be. Then we put 6, 15, 0, and 3. Okay? Now, let the zeros be. Actually, you know what this book has done is, see, my understanding is, when you have more than one zero, better not use it at all. Don't use it at all. All right? Or if you just see, when you cannot do an allocation, don't do it at all. Now, if there is only one zero in one row, you do the allotment. Otherwise, whenever there isn't more than one zero, just don't do the allotment. All right. This book has done something, so I don't want to follow that. So don't allocate at all. In B, you have two zeros. Leave it be. Come to C, you have 8, you have 5, you have a 0, you have a 0, and you have a 0 again. All right. In D, you have a 0, you have 6, you have 4, 2, and 7. Here you can allocate, so D goes to operator 1, let it be, leave it. Then E, 3, 5, 6. Again, there is only one 0, so we'll allocate it. And last is 8. Now this is how your matrix should look like. Alright. Now what you're supposed to do is, you have to draw lines. Please understand. You have to draw lines such that you connect all the zeros. Now you look at column 1. How many zeros does it have? It has two zeros, isn't it? So we can join column 1. How we do it is, we are supposed to join all the zeros with a minimum number of lines. Understand? So we look at column 1, we find that there are two zeros we need to join. So a line in column 1 banta hai. Okay? So just draw a light line from top to bottom in column 1. Okay? So you have joined two zeros. How many zeros does column 2 have? A single zero. So look at the row. See, in column 2, there's a single zero. Yeah, there's a single zero in column 2. So it doesn't make a sense to make a vertical line because there are no other zeros in column 2. Look at the row. Does the row have any zeros? No. So we'll wait and see whether we should draw a horizontal line or a vertical line. All right. Now look at the next column, third column. There is a single zero. We'll wait and see. Fourth column, naturally. Why I'm saying wait and see is sometimes the line drawn through a column can join a row also. So third column naturally will require, because there are three zeros. So join third column, join. Okay. Now look at row A. It has only one zero. Look at row B. It has two zeros. Look at row C. It has four zeros. So C will give a horizontal line. Three zeros, isn't it? For row C, we gave a horizontal line, hoping we will join all the zeros. Have we joined all the zeros? We have not joined only one zero, and that is in row A. Please check. All the zeros are joined except in row A. So we can have a vertical line or a horizontal line. Since we have drawn two vertical lines already, yeah, it has to go through some other numbers, but that zero needs to be covered. The which one? In row A. So what we will do is we'll give a horizontal line. This essentially covers only one zero, but we have no choice because that every zero needs to be covered. Now C class. I have joined all the zeros. In column 1, I have covered three zeros by a single line, right? In column 2, I didn't find it necessary. Column 3, I didn't find it necessary. Column 4, there were three zeros, so I drew a horizontal line. Column 4, well, didn't know what to do. I will wait. Like column, now we come to rows. In row 1, there was a single zero, so I said, let's wait. In column B, there were two zeros, but they were already touched by a line. In column 3, there were two zeros not touched by a line, only the one in, sorry class. In row C, class, I'm sorry, I'll repeat. In row A, there was one which I said, let me wait and see. In row B, there were two zeros which were already touched by the vertical line. In row C, there are three zeros in which only one was touched, so I drew a horizontal line joining all the three. In D, row D, it was already touched. In row E, it was already touched. That left me only one zero in row A. So then I said, since I've already drawn two lines, let me draw a horizontal line, one more. It doesn't not necessary that you have to draw a horizontal line. You can draw a vertical line also because that's a single zero. Anyhow, you have to. It's not a problem. All right. So here we are. Now, what do we do? Identify the lowest element from the uncovered values. What do you mean by an uncovered value? See, in this, when there is a line covering this one, column 1, look at column 1, operator, okay? operator 1 column. All the numbers are touched by a line, they are called covered values. Similarly, in row 1, all the numbers are touched by a line, they are covered values. Look at row B. There are numbers which are untouched by the line, and those numbers are in the second column 6, third column 15, and last column 3. So, from among the uncovered values, you have to identify the lowest element. We have here 6, 15, and 3. Row C, all the values are covered. There are no uncovered values. In D, excuse me, we have 6, 4, and 7 as uncovered values. In E, you have 5, 6, and 8 as uncovered values. So, in all the uncovered values, the smallest one is 3, isn't it? 3. Now, what you have to do is, I would like you to draw another matrix. Don't write anything in it, draw another matrix. It is necessary to redraw the matrix again and again. Alright? Right. Machine, heading is machine, then you have A, B, C, D, and E. Don't run ahead and fill the values. I have to tell you how to fill the values. You have operator 1, 2, operator 3, you have operator 4, and you have operator 5. Alright? Make the matrix. Okay? Now, what you have to do is 3 is the lowest of all the uncovered values. Please write somewhere. From the uncovered values, find the lowest value. Write down. Okay? Now you have to write 3 points. First point. Add this lowest value, to all the numbers at the intersection points. I will explain what's an intersection point. You look at this one. Here 5 has 2 lines crisscrossing, so 5 is an intersection point. Sorry, 8 is an intersection point. 10 is an intersection point, that is A and operator 4. 10 is an intersection point. Then in C, 0 is an intersection point. 10 and operator 4. I'll repeat, class. In row A, 5, and then 10 is an intersection point. 8 in row C, 8 and 0 is an intersection point. There are no more intersection points. So you have to write number 1. Add this lowest number or lowest value to all the intersection points. Now there are 3 kinds of numbers in this matrix. One is the intersection point, numbers at the intersection point. Second is covered values, where a line runs through the cell. Those are covered values. And third, the uncovered values. So write down number 2, Subtract this lowest value from all the uncovered values. Alright, subtract this lowest value from all the uncovered values. Alright, now watch. I repeat, wait, first you write down. The first one was add the lowest value to all the values at the intersection points. The second one was subtract this value from all the uncovered values. Alright, now you look at this one. The first one and covered values, what will you do? Leave them. Third one, covered values, leave them the same. Leave them untouched. The covered values, you leave them untouched. Now class, look at it. In the first row, 5 is an intersection point. So you have to add 3 to it. 5 becomes 8. 0 is a covered value, remains like that. 8 is a covered value, remains 8. 10 is an intersection point. It becomes 10 plus 3, 13. 11 is a covered value. It remains same. In the second column, B is a covered B, that first one. 0 is a covered value. It remains the same. From 6 is an uncovered value. 6 minus 3 is 3. 15 is an uncovered value. 15 minus 3 is 12. Then the 3 is a uncovered value. 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. In row C, you have to attack the two intersection points. You have to add. In D, there are 3 uncovered values. We will do it one by one. Now, look at your problem. We will do it column wise, up to down. Look at 5. The first one, column wise, operator 1. 5 is an uncovered value. Value at the intersection point. So you have to add there. 5 plus 3 becomes 8. Next is 0. It's a covered value. It remains the same. Next is 8. It is a value at the intersection. 8 plus 3, 11. Next is 0. It's a covered value. It remains the same. 3 is a covered value. It remains the same. So in the first column, your numbers will be 8, 0, 11, 0, 3. Alright? Operator 2. 0 is a covered value. Your line has gone through it. So it remains 0. 6 is an uncovered value. It has to be subtracted. Okay, the least value 3 has to be subtracted. 6 minus 3 becomes 3. Come down. 5 is a covered value. Leave it like that. 6 is an uncovered value. It becomes 3. 5 is an uncovered value. It becomes 2. Third one, operator 3. 8 is a covered value. It remains like that. 15 is an uncovered value. It becomes 15 minus 3, 12. 0 is a covered value. Leave it like that. 4 is an uncovered value. So 4 minus 3 becomes 1. 6 is an uncovered value. It becomes 3. Shall I continue? Operator 4. 10 is a value at the intersection. You will get 10 plus 3, 13. 0 is a covered value. Leave it like that. The next 0 is a intersection 1. So 0 plus 3, 3. 2 is a covered value. Leave it like that. And then 0 is a covered value. Leave it like that. Come to operator 5. 11 is a covered value. 11. 3 is an uncovered value, so you minus it. 3 minus 3 is 0. Then 0 is a covered value, 0. 7 is uncovered, 7 minus 3 is 4. Last, 8 is a uncovered value, 8 minus 3 is 5. I'll repeat it. In the first column, your numbers are 8, 0, 3. Sorry, wait 1 second. In the first column, your numbers are 8, 0, 11, 0, 3. In the second column, you are 0, 3, 5, 3, 2. In the third column, it is 8, 12, 0, 1, 3. In the fourth one, it is 13, 0, 3, 2, 0. In the fifth column, 11, 0, 0, 4, 5. I repeat, there are 3 types of numbers in your matrix. The first one is at the intersection of the lines. The intersection, whatever number you get, you take the lowest number from the uncovered values. 1 minute. You have intersection numbers, you have covered numbers, uncovered numbers. In the uncovered numbers, you take the least value. Here we got 3. Alright, what do you do with this 3? You add this 3 to the numbers at the intersection. Covered values you don't touch. And minus this 3 from the numbers that are uncovered. So the resultant matrix will be like this. Can you see? Alright. Now what do? We again do the row subtraction and the column subtraction. Okay. Look at the row, first row. It has zeros, we can't do anything. Look at the second row, it has zeros, we can't do anything. Third row, fourth row, all have zeros. So we have to allot now. So in the first one, we will give A, in row A, we will give to operator 2. Square it. In B, it is better to give to operator D. This is all judgmental, okay? Allotting is judgmental. D. And looking at where there are other zeros, etc. In C, we'll give it to 3. Because there are 2 zeros here and we have already given. Alright. And why did I not give B to 4? Because E has no other zeros except in column 4. So D will get 1. See, D has, I would like you to do like this instead. See class, you look at A. How many zeros are there? Only 1. Okay, repeat. Look at column, row A. It has only 1 0. So naturally, I give it to that 0. That is operator 2. Look at B. You have 3 zeros, leave it there. Look at C. You have 2 zeros, leave it. Look at D. 1 0, no choice. So give it to D goes to operator 1. Okay, judgmental it is. Look at E. You have only 1 0. So give it to operator 4. Now what is left? You have B and C. Alright. In B, you have 0 in the first column, but we have already given it to D. You have 0 in the fourth column, we have given it to E. So we give this to operator 5. Simple. Next come to C. It has two zeros. Operator 3 has no zero, so it coincides there. Whereas the last operator 5 cannot be given because we have already given it to B. So this is the way we allocate. Alright, I'll repeat it class. You look at this. In the first row, we had only one zero that was in operator 2. So we allocated it to operator 2. In the second B1, we had two zeros. So we leave it, we go to next row. In C, we had two zeros. Leave it, go to D. D has one zero, that is in operator 1, so we give it to operator 1. Now we come to E. E has just one zero, we give it there. Alright, that is to operator 4. Now we come to operator B. Now when we come to operator B, we find that there are three zeros. But in the first one, that is operator 1 has already been given to D. Then the next one has been given to E. So without a choice, we give this one operator 5. Then we come to the C row. Already there are only two zeros, that is in 3 and 5. Since we have already given above to 5, we give here to 3. Now you write down table showing table showing time allocation. I will dictate it, you write it down. Table showing time allocation. The first column is machine, A, B, C, D, E. Okay? A, B, C, D, E. Next column is operators. Next column is operators. Do not write anything there. The last column is time in minutes. Alright? Here we go. Look at your allocation. We have, hope you can see, operator A gets, machine A gets number 2. Write down. Machine B gets 5. C gets 3. D gets 1. E gets 4. Now you go into the original table and see what is the minutes. Alright? You should do that yourselves and you should get 22 minutes. Now, I'll give you one problem which I would like you to work out and I'll see you tomorrow. Or would you like me to work it out? Because let me work it out. Let's see if I can give you another. Wait. I'll give you something simple. All the problems sent forth are with these lines. Do you think you can do it? Would you like to try? I'll work it out tomorrow. But if you like to try, please try. What shall I do? Suppose you work out the problem and you work it wrong, then it becomes difficult to, cut off and all that. So let it be. I'll give you a break today. Yeah, I'll give you a break today. Sorry.